Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you've all had a wonderful weekend so far. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Initiative Order. And thank you so much for joining us for our 18th session of Symbaroum. My name is Nate Ridenauer, and I will be your game master for this journey. Let's go ahead and meet my players for today. Let's go and start off with Coral, please.
Hi, friends. My name's Coral, and I'm going to be playing the Master of Potions and Poisons, and also very old Agithe. Or Aggie.
Good old Aggie. Love it, love it. Thank you so much. And Kelsey, please.
Hi, everyone. Today, I am playing the witch, Kinlegelana, who is also a changeling.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And as most of you have noticed, we're missing a few crew members. They are off dealing with various life things that life throws at them. But we wish them all well, and they will be back with us. Hopefully, in the next couple sessions, you'll be seeing some familiar faces. So.
And can we wish a happy birthday to LeRoyal's son? Because that's
Absolutely.
why LeRoyal's gone today.
Yes.
So you're probably not watching this, but happy birthday. Have fun.
Yes. Hope you're enjoying your day there, LeRoyal, with your little one. I saw some pictures of his kid on Instagram, and oh my God, so damn cute. So enjoy the day, enjoy the time together. We look forward to having you back next session. All right, with that, let's go ahead and dive back into the world of Symbaroum. And welcome back, everybody. It turns out I'm a big liar. This is episode 19. I know how numbers work. Anyway, before we dive back into our story, just a quick recap of things that happened last time. Keen and Nrobso, the two of you had returned to the Rose Inn to kind of update Aggie on the things that you had found out with breaking into Cargoy's home, finding his undead wife and child chained up in his basement where he was caring for them. And basically just kind of filling in Aggie on what you had accomplished there with calming the tensions between Cargoy and the church. From there, the three of you decided to head back to the Queen's legation to try to do some more research into the key that is in your possession. Upon going there, you were quickly kind of shut down at the doors. They were closing up for the night. And so the three of you decided to get up and leave. Nrobso having some suspicions about the both of you as all this was going on, accusing the two of you of being changelings, which you obviously are. But there were a couple times where Nrobso had threatened you with his axe, but thanks to a few compliments thrown his way, that seemed to calm him down just a touch. And on your travels back to the Rose Inn, you decided to do a little bit of shopping, popping into the apothecary to pick up an herb known as Witherbloom, which something that Aggie is familiar with. Aggie, you had learned of this from your past companion, Lainey, the undead kind of roguish type who is currently in Thistlehold as well. You had spoken to her about trying to essentially revive Kargoy's daughter, and she gave you a couple pieces of the puzzle to work with and has offered to meet up with you at the stables near the Rose Inn to discuss in further detail. After picking up, though, your items, you return back to the Rose Inn to get a night's rest before going about your business and continuing your investigations. However, upon returning to the Rose Inn, you noticed there was a small satchel pinned to one of your bedroom doors. And in this satchel, Nrobso went over, looking inside, and found a finger. That finger belonging to his goblin employee, Kranko. Kranko had been sent to deliver some mail on your behalf. You're not certain if that mail has made it to where it goes, to where it was destined to go. You're not certain where Kranko is at. And so Nrobso kind of tucked himself away in his room, and the two of you heard very loud ruckus and noises as you heard what sounded like Nrobso climbing out of his window and heading off into Thistlehold. Luckily, the two of you were able to kind of open your window and shout at him as he was leaving. And basically, Nrobso said, "This is some guy from my past that I have to deal with. I've got to do this on my own." And he went off into the night to the streets of Thistlehold to look for Kranko on his own. So where we will start are the two of you back at the Rose Inn. We'll say you were able to get some sleep throughout the night. Maybe not the best sleep, as I'm sure you were awake kind of thinking about all the pieces of information Nrobso running the streets on his own overnight. But nevertheless, the morning time has come. The sun begins to rise, breaking through the windows. You feel the warmth on your face as the daylight begins to break. The actions are yours. It is morning time. You're in your rooms at the Rose Inn. What would you like to do?
I feel like I'm knocking on Aggie's door pretty early. Aggie,
you
you're
are
speaking.
That is the level at which Aggie is speaking, because it's morning. She is only imagining her vocalizing, but really nothing's coming out. It was a choice. Anyways, yeah.
Agithe, are you feeling well?
I don't know yet. Ask me a question that makes me think, and then I'll be able to tell you.
Would you like to go to the Queen's Legations? Bright and early.
Oh, I suppose we can do that. And yeah, Aggie will get out of bed and just start mumbling, and she's just like, "Oh man, I was hoping that since it was just the two of us, we might be able to sleep in a bit, but nope, we're getting going, okay." And yep, she gets dressed, pulls up her hood, comes on outside, and she's like, "Morning."
Good morning. I have some bread for you. I got it from the kitchen this morning.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for coming and bringing a gift. So, it sounds like you're ready to get right on it.
Well, I presume we're going to discover something, potentially, at the records house. And if we do, we're going to need the whole day to plan it out.
That's quite fair. All right, well, you lead the way. Just, question, Nate.
Sure.
Have they invented to-go cups yet? Because Aggie wants some tea, but she doesn't want to slow us down.
That's fair. I will say, if you were to ask for a container which you can transport your beverage, they would give you like a basic insulated little flask-looking thing. It's made out of some kind of metal component. You're not quite certain what. Probably a lot of iron mixed in with something else.
Probably lead or some bullshit.
Exactly. Enough to keep your beverage warm for certain, though.
Yeah, but it'll probably kill you in 30 years because that's the time period. Great. Yeah, so Aggie's just gonna... can I at least just get a cup? I need a little bit of a perk. And so, yeah, Aggie is gonna, kind of brush past Keen and just like make her way downstairs, hop to the bar, flag somebody down. You may not get this request often, but I need tea. But I also have things that I need to do. Is there any way I can take my tea to go?
And the young Ambrian man behind the counter is like, I think we might have some kind of flask in the kitchen I can pour it into if you want. I can't guarantee it's going to be clean, but it'll hold your tea.
Your cups are rarely clean either, so it will be no different. Yes.
Okay.
Great. Now, I'll be sure to bring it back.
Is there a specific type of tea? You want a lavender or an Earl Grey? Simple black tea?
Oh, yeah, an Earl Grey actually sounds really delicious. Thank you.
Easy enough.
That.
My head has poked around the corner. May I please have one with some Earl Grey and a pinch of lavender?
Oh, Grant, are you drinking yours here, miss, or are you also taking it to go?
To go, please, to go. I didn't realize that was an option.
Okay.
You don't ask, you'll never receive.
You see him kind of duck down behind the little bar area. And Aggie, go ahead and give me a vigilance check here while you're sitting at the bar. And this will be your first roll of the day here.
Usually I try to make them cunning checks. Oh, no!
All right, take that -1 for the rest of the day.
That is a 12 out of 11.
Oh, so close, so close. All right.
You woke up Aggie too early and...
All right. But you see him kind of duck down behind the bar, not quite certain of what he's doing back there, and then he darts off behind the swinging double doors. A few moments go by, and he walks out with two iron-looking flasks and just kind of sets them down in front of each of you and slides them over. Yeah, so that will be 5 shillings total for the tea. If you bring the flasks back, you can get a refund on 2 shillings.
What? Shillings for tea?
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 ortegs for a beer.
Well, it's more so a deposit on those flasks.
I understand. Yeah, okay. Can we get back another shilling?
You can persuasion roll if you would.
Oh, that is a 6 out of 9 now.
Okay, even with your penalty, that is enough. And you see him just kind of sigh, and he just kind of reaches down into his apron and chucks the shilling up on the counter.
Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Anything for you, dear.
Look, how long have we been staying here? We've been keeping this place open, all right?
Actually, I'm well aware that it's the mayor who's keeping this place open, covering your accommodations.
Well, we drink a lot, and Aggie just grabs her thing and books it as fast as her old little legs can carry her.
You just go shuffling on out the door and just hear him go, "Have a nice day."
It was nice seeing you. What was your name again, sir?
My name is Jones.
Jones. Have a wonderful day, Jones. I will return your flask.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Damn, after all of this time, and we've never learned his name. Great customers we are.
Well, I will say you've seen several employees kind of taking shifts behind the counter here.
Fair.
All right.
So they have a high turnover rate?
They might. Weird, right? In this shithole town. All right. So tea flasks in hand, easy enough to exit out of the Rose Inn, out into the streets, which are beginning to slowly pack as you see the shops beginning to kind of open up and people beginning to start their days as well. You know the direction to get to the Queen's Legation. Simple 10-15 minute walk from your current location. Is that where we're heading?
She's very good.
Yeah, yes. I must say. How is it with the extra bit of lavender? I haven't considered that.
Dare I say magical?
It definitely helps mask some of the metallic taste that's more so coating Aggie's tongue with each sip.
You must be careful using that kind of descriptor around here, though.
Yes, well, we've done a really good job at being discreet in so many cases.
I know. I'm absolutely shocked, but...
Speaking of which, we'd best behave, knowing that yesterday, Nrobso, well, he did what he normally does, yes?
Yep. I don't plan on doing any misbehaving, personally.
Excellent. And look, it seems to be up ahead.
And just like that, before you know it, you are heading towards the Queen's Legation. You see that familiar, just simple storefront. The doors are currently open with the staircase heading down underneath the town. As you make your way over the stairs, walking down, you can see the Ambrian man from the night before is currently walking down the stairs, lighting up the torches as he goes. Dressed kind of the same, simple robes with a beautiful sword at his side, but the same kind of dark curly brown hair and dark brown beard as he's just kind of lighting the torches. And down at the bottom of the stairs, you see the woman from last night as well, with her dark hair kind of pulled up nice and tight, wearing like a beautiful like crimson colored dress, as it looked like she is getting ready to unlock the building down below.
Yeah, Aggie's gonna hobble on up and just be like, "Oh, well, they have you closing the night before and opening the next day? How rude."
Well, I mean, it's just one of the joys of being the head records keeper of the town.
Yeah, true, but still, you'd think that your budget would allow for, a couple of employees. But good morning.
Oh, good morning. I appreciate you returning. And she kind of, you hear the clicking of the locks as They come undone, and she holds the door open for the two of you to enter in. The Ambria man doesn't say anything as the two of you walk by. He's just focusing on lighting up the torches.
Well met, and good morning. I'm sorry, I don't think I got your name last time. My name is Keen. What's your name?
Who are you speaking to?
I'm the woman.
The woman? Okay. She looks towards you and, yes, good morning, Surya.
Ah, Surya. That's a gorgeous name. Aggie.
Aggie, a pleasure to meet you.
Please call me Aggie. It's lovely to meet you as well.
And you, miss?
Yes, it's nice to meet you as well.
Well, I'm just gonna turn to Keen. Out of the corner of my eye, can I see the dude's face? I want to know if this guy is suspicious of us, if he's got a bad taste in his mouth from last night, or if it's just morning and he really is just tired and concentrating on doing his job.
Give me a cunning check here as you're trying to read his facial expressions.
All right. That is a 5 out of 14.
5 out of 14. Excellent, excellent. As he's kind of finishing the torches off one side, he kind of turns facing you as he's going to go to the other side to start lighting those ones up. And as he turns, he almost locks eyes with you for a moment. His face, fairly stonewall. As you're kind of looking at him, you can tell that this guy is almost... He doesn't look upset or angry or really show any type of emotions. You almost get the sense with the way he's holding himself, looking at the blade at his side. He's probably got some kind of training, and he's probably some kind of just no bullshit type of dude who is just there doing his job.
Cool. Yeah, and he's kind of just the type of person who's just a little wary of everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Awesome. Makes sense. Great. I mean, since we lock eyes, I'm gonna give him a nice big smile.
And he just slightly nods at you and then just goes back to lighting the torches.
Great. I'm gonna ask Keen, what was it that we were here for again? I believe it was property.
Yes, there's also something that I was hoping maybe I could get some help from you, Surya, on.
Certainly. And she just kind of looks up and Decamito, please just once you finish up, please just join me in my office. And the individual lighting the torch just kind of nods his head and continues on. Property, you say? And
yes,
other records?
We are looking into property today, but it occurred to me in bed last night that I actually could use more assistance from someone who has a little bit more knowledge of places around the city. You see, I inherited this key, and I've been trying to figure out what kind of thing it goes to.
And she kind of just holds her hand out to take the key from you.
I will show her the key.
Okay. Do you hand it over, or are you just kind of holding it in front of her?
I'll just hold it in front of her.
Okay. She kind of just looks at it and may I ask where you got this key?
I inherited it from somebody who passed.
I see. Is there a name attached to the key? Do you know? I mean, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm assuming it's somebody you were acquainted with if they left you a key?
Yes. I'm not sure really that the name would have been terribly known around here. Can I just make a quick check to see if I would think this is a good idea to actually reveal the name?
Yeah, I mean, you can give me a cunning check to try to get a read on her and try to get a read on the vibes here.
Okay. That is going to be a 5 out of 10.
Okay. As you're kind of looking at her, reading her body language and watching her eyes, she's kind of like just looking at the key, but she's not giving you any indication of wanting to know this information for malicious purposes. She just genuinely seems a bit curious. And at this point, I would say the Ambria man is kind of making his way down, and he enters into the doorway as well, not even paying attention to the two of you, and he just walks back to another little room off to the side. But from what you can tell, it doesn't seem like it would be a good or bad idea. It's entirely up to you.
I'm just gonna like quickly say it would have been under the name Anadea, and Anadea perhaps.
I see. And she kind of goes over and closes the doors to the legation. I don't know this Anadea super well. I'd heard she had ties to the church, and we obviously had the report come through of her arguing with another individual at the salons shortly before the sinkhole opened up. And she left you this key.
Indeed, it was left for us to have.
I see.
Well, if you don't have any information, that's fine. I just thought I'd ask.
I can tell you exactly where that key goes to. After all, we hold the records for every piece of property. But, as I'm sure you know by now, information comes with a price. Nothing is given out for free here.
So then what are we getting at?
I've got a rather significant favor to ask of the two of you.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
I have received word that an ancient tablet has made its way into town. A tablet depicting a prophecy from the days of Symbaroum. It was brought here by 3 Templars. And it's a bit odd that when these Templars arrived, when word of this tablet was coming, well, that's when the well sank into the ground. And the hole opened up and all those fucking things started crawling out. The Queen is very much interested in this tablet. If you can see it brought to Decamito, gesturing towards her office, you bring it to him in one piece, and I will tell you where that key goes.
I see.
Is there a reason you have not asked somebody else to do this?
With it being a task like this, and potentially having to negotiate with the Templars, it's not the best look to see some of the Queen's personal hands out negotiating with the church in broad daylight over things brought from the days of Symbaroum. People get suspicious. Not a lot of people trust what is brought out of the woods of Davokar, as I'm sure you understand. But the Queen is very much interested in this, and I'd like to do this as discreetly as possible.
I understand what you're offering, though we can both admit that potentially handling an object that may have been born from darker forces and dealing with Templars and potentially intermingling in other spheres to try and get information warrants a little bit more than information about an inherited key, does it not?
Give me a persuasion roll if you would, Keen.
I'm good at those. Thank you. That being the roll. All right, that is a 6 out of 11.
Okay. And she just kind of looks at you and... Well, what else is it that you're after?
Well, to be honest, we were coming here on a very simple errand, but perhaps, be this the Queen's work, maybe we could get some financial backing. That would also help us along our journey, especially when it comes to trying to get supplies for any type of dangerous business with any such tablets.
Well...
And perhaps also silence about the nature of our business.
Oh, of course, that goes without saying. I don't want anybody knowing about what is going on here. This conversation ends at that door. Now, as far as compensation, I'm sure I could get together a nice purse for you. And in doing this task, I will make sure that the Queen knows of your names if you wish. So that if you were to leave the hold, perhaps make your way to the capital of Indaros, she might welcome you with open arms.
I look at Keen and
A generous offering indeed. I mean, we do have a very available day. Do we not, Aggie?
Well, yes, I look at the person whose name you told us but 15 minutes ago.
Saria.
Yes, her. I'm just like, earlier I was upset that she wanted us to get up so early, but now I understand why. We'll have plenty of time to take on your mission, and if all goes very well, hopefully we'll be back before close.
Well, if you are going to do this, then you will not be bringing the tablet back here. I will have Decamito meet you at the Saloon of Symbaroum. He'll be waiting for you at one of the booths. Now, as far as this tablet, the 3 Templars who brought it back, I know they spent some time at the church, but I also know that they are actually staying at the Winged Ladle. My informants tell me the tablet is in a small wooden crate, and it is in room number 3 that they are staying.
3 Templars in the 3rd room. You should be easy to remember.
Indeed, and you don't know any of the names of the Templars by chance?
I'm afraid not. From what I've heard, they're brothers perhaps from out of town.
Wow.
Oh!
Brothers, you say?
Yes.
There's a chance we've encountered them before then.
And if that is the case, then we already have what one might consider a rapport.
Well, that could work in your favor, I suppose. Just tread carefully around them.
Of course.
And this Decamidi, you said, exactly what sort of clothing might he wear? Maybe a brooch or some kind of object that would lead us to believe he's in a booth waiting for us?
Oh. Just kind of snaps her fingers, and Decamitos walks out from her office. And she just looks towards him. Well, Decamitos, looks like you get the day off early. go enjoy a drink at the saloons. And he just kind of nods. And she says, do not wait more than 10 hours. And she looks towards the two of you. 10 hours is all you have.
Very well.
Understood.
Well met, Saria. Hopefully, we shall see ourselves as very, very friendly acquaintances soon.
Yes.
Now then, if there's anything else, otherwise, I really do have to open up to the public now.
Of course. We don't mean to keep you.
Not at all. And she goes over and she unlocks the doors once more, opening them up. And you see Decamitos head up the staircase and disappear into the streets.
Oh.
Okay, well. So, let's see, those Templars. I know one of them was Leohan, correct?
Yes.
He,
Leohan.
Henlone, and Venhall. Right,
Yeah.
so
Correct.
Venhall was the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Henlone? Oh god, which one was the oldest?
I don't remember, but I do remember that Leohan was the nice one.
Yeah,
Yes.
Leohan is the middle brother. Henlone was the oldest. He was the first one that you encountered at the sinkhole.
Didn't I save one of their lives or something?
Oh yeah, you performed. Yeah, you stabilized some of their wounds.
We should have some leverage with that one then. Fingers crossed.
Well, we should tread very carefully.
Yeah,
Not put off that
course.
we know anything.
Do you remember which of the three I saved?
The three. I believe. Let's see.
Remember there was some protestation, and they originally didn't want me to touch the one who was injured, but then they were going to die if I didn't. I don't remember exactly.
Well, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't Henlone. Henlone is the one we met first, the one that didn't want you to touch his brother.
Yes, of course. I believe it was.
I'm fairly certain it was Venhall who you had healed.
The-
And Leohan was the one trying to say, I appreciate you. Henlone doesn't fully understand.
Cool.
Do you
That
feel like
makes-
you just got a strange surge of intuition about the situation?
Yes, that's shocking.
So much comes on the wind. Sometimes it's useful, though. Often it's not.
And every
Mhm.
once in a while, I'm not going to finish it. Not going to finish the sentence. Well, okay.
Oh, I still have the delightful tea.
Oh, yes, I finished mine quite a while ago. I had to get through the metallic taste, but I have to say, after a while, it started adding something,
Very nice.
But okay, but not to get sidetracked. Before we go and visit the brothers, we need to figure out exactly how much are we going to let on. We know our actual reason for visiting them, but what's the reason that we're going to tell them? How are we going to try to get information out of them? Are we going to try to befriend them? Which would be my preference. I do like two of the three.
Well, To answer one of your questions, we do not need to get information from them. We just need to get a box from them. Very different. Unless you want information from them. And if we do try to make any particular friends, Leohan is probably the better option.
Understood. Well,
did Nrobso say anything about them before? Didn't Nrobso say he went to another city and he found the Templars to be evil?
I
doesn't like them.
mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Anytime you have such a law enforcement, specifically a religious law, there's bound to be some overstepping and some well, anytime you have power, there's going to be abuses of it. So I would not at all be shocked. But I must say, I at least want to try to get Leon out. I don't even know if who's to say they even know what they brought back. I don't know if they brought it maliciously or if they just picked up a stone tablet and now all of a sudden bad things are following them and they don't know why.
Well, they said it depicted a prophecy of the final days of Symbaroum, correct?
Yes.
And the Templars are supposed to be worshippers of Prios?
Yes.
Do the last days of Symbaroum have anything to do with Prios? It just seems strange. Because not only have they brought this tablet into the city, but they haven't taken it to the church. They're not even staying there.
That is an especially good point.
I don't know, I could be wrong.
But if you're right, that means that they are hiding something from the church, which means there's a decent possibility of their goals being a bit more malicious than we initially thought.
Well, perhaps not all. There's a good chance that perhaps Leohan doesn't truly know, or maybe Leohan has been sold a story of some sort. Or love can make people truly blind. Perhaps.
I was thinking the same.
Did I just awaken some sort of story, Agithe?
Oh, no. I was just going to say perhaps we've been blinded by a kind, charming man, which I do have a few stories about that. But I will save those for another time.
Well, I would be very interested in hearing more about them. But come, we only have 10 hours, much to do.
Yes. I believe, and as we walk along, we can walk and talk. We're able to multitask. As we're walking along, I'm just going to, how do you feel about me coming in and insisting on checking up on their wounds, considering I cared for them previously?
I would find that agreeable, but do we think that I should look the way that I normally look?
That is a fantastic question. What other way would you suggest?
Perhaps I want to learn herbal medicine from you, or perhaps I could be someone you've met along the way, someone who has little reason to be noticed when they have to leave to go to a room numbered 3.
I think that is an excellent idea. Yes, you are a prospective apprentice who I am taking on assignment with me for the first time. We're checking up on on these three, I figure it would be a good, easy way to get your feet wet. Nothing too gruesome or too major, just some scarring. Yes, I think that is a fantastic idea.
Yes, very well. Well, then I'll go and find somewhere a little private to change. What do you think I should look like? What kind of face? I'm going to be as Ambrian vanilla as possible.
Yes, definitely. I would say young, but not a child. Perhaps 16, 17. Young adult. Because I assume in this setting, it's like medieval times where you're an adult at 14 years old. Yes, young adult, just beginning to learn a trade. Yes, does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds wonderful. And I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna make sure I change into a very vanilla-looking Ambrian.
Okay. Give me a discreet check as you're trying to find a spot to kind of duck down into and shift your form.
Okay. That is a 4. What is my discreet? 10.
Yeah,
4 out of 10.
Oh, it's
excellent.
higher than a 4.
Yeah. So you easy
These are
enough
my
to
good
find
skills.
an alleyway, kind of between a couple buildings. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but you're able to kind of shift your way down through there. And Aggie, as you kind of see her kind of disappear into this alley, what does it look like for us, Keen? Is there any physical effect? Does your body do anything weird as you transform?
So when I transform, it almost looks like this little murder of ravens starts circling around, and then it turns into white and black frayed energy as it circles around me, and then when that disperses into smoke, I look like something else.
Excellent. And Aggie, you see just this wild surge of black and white swirling energy. And Keen is no longer standing there, but a young Ambrian individual.
Oh, come along. Oh my goodness, what should we name you?
Well, I could respond to many names.
Yes.
Something simple, perhaps?
Please. I would prefer.
Pips. Pips, short for Pippi.
Pips. Pips. Young Pips. Ah, yes, young Pips. Oh, thank you. That is wonderful. Young Pips. Come along, young Pips. Oh, I'm going to have too much fun with this name.
Okay, so Aggie and young Pips. Are the two of you heading straight over for the winged ladle, or are you heading somewhere else?
Yeah, we'll head straight over. Actually, quick question. How far away is the winged ladle from where my cart is, which I believe is stored at the Rose Inn, right?
The cart itself is still at the Town Guard Brigade near Night Pigeon's home,
right.
Is where you left it.
There.
Which is located in the southwestern part of Thistlehold. The winged ladle, with how much time you've spent in town, you would know where that's at. It is on the opposite side of town in the southeastern part. So it's going to take you quite a bit of time to walk from one side over to the other. However, with where you're currently at, you would just basically have to walk immediately south to get to your cart, and then you can just cut over. So it's definitely doable. It's not like you're making a huge pathway out of it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna say to Pips. Well, first, let us get a few supplies from the cart, so that way we can at least look like we're doing something.
Indeed. If asked, what should be my favorite fact about plants or medicines?
I don't know. Make a character choice.
I see.
What is your favorite fact about plants and or medicines?
I don't have as much experience with plants and medicines as you do. However, I quite like making blends of tea. I find it very medicinal.
I believe that is a perfect answer. And honestly, it's very similar to how I got involved in this too. Only the teas I was brewing had a little bit of nightshade in them, and we'll talk about that later. Yeah, we're just hobbling along to the cart.
Hobbling along over to your cart. Okay, easy enough. You see the smaller palisade of wooden fencing as you approach. The double large gates are currently pushed open. You see those familiar lines of just the city guard tents lined up perfectly down either side, with Captain Marvello's tent situated perfectly at the back. But as you enter in, you see your cart parked immediately to the right-hand side as you walk in, and Tsum Tsum appears to be chained up, just munching happily away on some grass. It looks like some of the guards set up a very nice large water trough for Tsum Tsum to just slurp out of, and your moose is being well taken care of.
Oh, thank you so much for the wonderful. Tsum Tsum has an entire apartment now. This is a house.
And Captain Marvello comes up to you. Oh, yes. Speaking of, do you plan on taking Tsum Tsum and the cart out anytime soon? We really could use the space.
Yes, Tsum Tsum. That was supposed to be a joke because it sounds like soon.
Yeah,
But...
Marvello's just standing there, jaw kind of open, like they just look exhausted as fuck right now. And they just kind of look towards. And you've picked up a child in your endeavors. Hello, Miss Aggie. With your line of work, are you done with the investigation? Should you really be bringing a child along with you on? You know what? It's not my place to question.
Look, I'm just going to slowly, elderly hobble my way on over and put a hand on his shoulder and say, "My dear friend, you really, really must learn something about multitasking. This is my new apprentice."
I see.
Yes.
Hello. And you are?
Hello, I'm Pips. How are you today?
Pips.
Yes, Pips.
I'm doing so well, thank you. And no, put that down. And you see him kind of pointing over and just shouting at a couple of what look to be like a couple newer recruit guards that look to be probably about 17, 18 years old. You just, I'm so sorry, Miss Aggie. Of course, you have access to your belongings, whatever you need. I need a vacation. Excuse me. And he just goes running over.
I'll talk to the mayor about that. Yep. Just go over to Tsum Tsum. Yeah, I'm gonna pet Tsum Tsum first and say, "Oh, you look like a happy moose."
And Tsum Tsum definitely kind of just leans its head down for some ear scratches and just kind of shakes its giant ass antlers around.
Yeah, I give Tsum Tsum a lot of loving, and then I go and look at Pips, and I'm going to be like, "Okay, now from the back, you're going to need to get a satchel with 2 pairs of gloves now that I list off, like 7 herbs and like 3 salves, and I'm just like going, and yeah, you are now my assistant. I'm sorry, Keen.
All right, Pips, you jump in there, just grabbing off all these different vials and whatnot that Aggie's shouting at you.
Do I have to make a roll for that?
Yeah, go and give me a cunning roll here to see if you can pick out what Aggie is actually telling you to grab here.
So, it's a 20.
Yes!
Nice. Okay, critical fail. Perfect. You are just grabbing vials left and right. You're not certain what's in them. And as you're kind of going through, you're digging through the vials. You reach over and you grab onto what appears to be the flame scorched blanket that Laerke had left behind in the cart, and you kind of pull that off, and you reach down through and just grab a little crate of something, just kind of dump it into your bag, and that's good enough. Aggie, as you're standing outside, you hear the cart just rattling around with bottles and vials clanking left and right.
Hey, be careful in there! Lots of fragile things.
And Pips, you hop out, happy as can be, with a bag full of stuff.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna come out. Oh, 1 second.
Oh my god, are you switching crowns? Oh my god, yes. Queen Pips.
I found all of these medicinal flowers. Thought it'd be easier to use them if they were on my head.
You are really digging into this character, and I appreciate it.
That's what you told me to do. You said pick a character.
Yep. Yes, you are. Can I look at the crown and how many things in the crown are like super rare and valuable herbs? Like
give me a cunning check here if you would, Aggie.
That's a 6 out of 14.
6 out of 14. Okay. Looking at the crown that Pips threw together in the wagon, most of them are just basic flowers that you can find lying around anywhere. There's no like wither bloom or nightshade weaved into it anywhere. You're pretty solid.
Great. Then I'm just going to say it looks it's absolutely lovely, and it is certainly a fantastic brand for an apothecary. Did you get everything I asked for?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let us go.
Excellent. I feel, what is the word, Aggie? Whimsical today? What a beautiful day.
I am so glad that you've found something new and exciting, Pips.
Indeed. Should we do anything else before we meet with the Templars?
Oh, considering we've now got about 9 hours, I think it's best for us to hurry.
Okay.
Indeed.
So, making your way across town, it's easy enough as you're kind of weaving your way through the streets, as again, you've been here for well over a couple weeks at this point in this town. You know it fairly well. Maneuvering your way through, and takes you probably about 20 or so minutes, 30 minutes to get all the way across, especially on foot with little Miss Aggie shuffling along. You approach what appears to be this incredibly large tree. This thing is probably diameter of 2 redwoods put together as it just extends up, and it stands probably about the same height as a couple of 3-story buildings that are built around it. And as you approach, you see this large wooden staircase that just spirals up around the trunk of this tree, up to the top where it looks like there's almost an area that's been flattened out between the branches where there are 3 buildings currently situated. And at the bottom of the stairs, you see a hanging sign that says the Winged Ladle.
Aggie sees this and just, oh, I forgot it was the place with the stairs. Well, right. Takes us another fucking 20 minutes to get up the stairs.
Pips, do you assist Aggie in walking up this winding staircase?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
No, it's got a handrail. That's all I need. I'm fine. And you just see Aggie with both. She's causing a traffic jam.
So making your way about up essentially 3 stories worth of stairs as they wind all the way around this tree trunk. You come up to this large, beautiful landing. Essentially, it looks like just one extremely massive balcony with 3 buildings. As you hit the top of the first landing, immediately to the left and right are 2 smaller square wooden buildings, each of them only 1 story tall. And immediately in front of you is a building that's just a single one, but it's about the size of both of those ones combined, directly in front of you. Same situation, just a single story, large wooden building up here. But as you hit the landing, you can see a couple individuals walking around the balcony, almost like they're sightseeing, and a couple kids kind of go brushing past you and running down the stairs. But it looks like you have made it to the top of the Winged Ladle. So you've got the smaller buildings to the left and right, or the large building directly in front of you. Actions are yours.
Aggie's going to almost fall to the ground and pant. Because that was difficult.
Would you like help?
Just give me a minute. I haven't walked up something like that in, I don't know, probably a decade. Oh. Okay. Yeah, once Aggie's calmed down, caught her breath, she's just gonna stand up. Okay. Well, looks like the main one is a tavern of sorts, I assume, or the main building. I think we might have the best luck to find the 3 brothers in there.
Perhaps. Probably the best thing is to just go and try.
Yes, I agree. Well, shall we? Hobble on. And as we're hobbling on, she's muttering under her breath, I will throw myself off of this tree before I go down those stairs.
Okay, so you're approaching the large main building that's directly in front of you then.
Yep.
So as you approach the wall that's currently facing you, you don't see any doors on this side. You just see 4 large windows that appear to be evenly spaced out along this wall. You can go either to the right or to the left and kind of follow the balcony around to check out the other sides if you want to.
Yeah, we'll go to the right.
Okay, going to the right and heading over towards the edge of the Winged Ladle. Luckily, there's just a large wooden handrail that runs the entire length of this balcony. You kind of peer down and you can see you're probably about 3.5 to 4 stories high up here in this tree. Looking down through some of the branches, you can see down into the busy cobblestone streets below. As you see a couple individuals kind of like stop and look up and point up in your direction, almost like they're just like, oh, what the hell is that thing up there? And before they continue on. But as you're walking down this side here, you only see, as you're walking, you pass by one window on this building. As you kind of peer in, it looks to just be a long hallway. Continuing on, you see 3 more windows evenly spaced out. And as you kind of peer into here, it looks to be like a large dining area. But you approach the end of this walkway, and you can turn left. Still no doors on this wall either.
This is interesting and seems like a fire hazard.
Well, I suppose there's reasons people pick such locations.
Yes. Yes.
Do you see them anywhere?
Yeah, can I peer into one of the windows?
Yeah, you're looking on one of the windows on this side that you're on. So yeah, go ahead and give me a vigilance roll if you would.
That's a 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. Aggie, you go to kind of peer into this window. For some reason, the one you're trying to peer into is kind of frosted over and fogged up. It's very difficult to see anything. You can't tell if it's frosted on purpose or if it's something else that's causing it, but can't quite make out anything.
I've got nothing.
Should I look?
Be my guest.
And I will peer in as well. What kind of check?
Give me a vigilant check if you would.
Well. Well. 19 out of 7.
Okay, even better. Same type of situation. You're kind of looking through, and it almost looks like these are purposely frosted to almost act like privacy windows, so you can't quite make out anything super detailed within.
I thought we go in.
Yes, I do believe we've nothing more we can glean from here.
Okay. You're around the corner, and along this wall, you do finally see a single doorway that goes into this building. You also see an individual standing at the very end of this walkway. He appears to be dressed in simple, basic leather armor. Looks like he's got a crossbow, and he's just kind of leaning up against the railing over there. And he just kind of looks in your direction and just gives a slight nod.
Yep, I just nod back. And you said he was guarding something?
He's just kind of hanging out in the corner of the balcony, crossbow loaded. He just kind of nods in your direction. From what you can tell, it looks like he might be some kind of hired security for this place.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's just gonna... Now that we've turned another corner, do we finally see a door?
Yes, you do see a single doorway.
Great. Then I'm not going to ask how to get in.
Okay, perfect. Would you like to go in?
Yeah!
Okay. You open up the doorway, and as you enter in, immediately to the right, you see a long wooden bar with about 10 bar stools situated at it. It also opens up just this large dining area. In here you see probably about 7 or so Ambrian individuals kind of scattered throughout the tables. All of them eating what appears to just be basic breakfasts, baked goods, different meats, eggs, potatoes, that type of thing. You see an Ambrian woman behind the bar. She just kind of looks up and, good morning. Welcome to the Winged Ladle.
Good morning.
Just here for joining us for breakfast today, or are you checking in?
I definitely felt interested in checking in, but I don't know if we're sure of our accommodations for tonight. So for now, probably breakfast. But if we were interested in looking at the rooms, do you know what way they would be?
Well, it depends on your budget. We have some of the main rooms here attached to this building, and she kind of points towards another doorway towards the back of the dining room. We've got 4 rooms in that hallway, or we have the more exclusive annex buildings as well.
Oh.
Thank you very much. What is your name, ma'am?
Of course. I am so happy to help you out. My name is Maya.
Maya, absolutely wonderful. Hi, my name is Pips.
Pips, that's an interesting name for sure. And is this your grandmother,
nickname.
Pips?
Oh, no. Pips is my new apprentice. My name's Agithe. We were actually here because there are a group of brothers who I was hoping to visit. They were in a bit of trouble a few days ago. Right, GM? Days?
Yeah.
Or are we talking weeks at this point? What is
No,
time?
no, it would be closer to a few days. Yeah.
Great. They were in a spot of trouble a few days ago, and I gave them some emergency patching up, and I just wanted to check in on them. Yeah, I'm gonna scan the bar for the Templar brothers.
Okay. Give me a vigilant check if you would.
That's the
give you-
exact same thing it was before.
Okay, no worries. I mean, you're in a fairly open dining room area, and I'll say they're not sticking out anywhere in this area.
Cool. Yeah. Do you happen to know whereabouts they would be?
Well, I'm afraid I can't just give out guest information to anybody who walks in and asks.
Of course. Makes sense. Well, do you know if they do they usually come here for breakfast? I mean, we're happy to stick around, and I'm gonna look at Pips and maybe have a cup of tea.
That would be so lovely.
I
Wait.
see. I'm happy to give you some tea. Now, you said you're here to check on their wounds. Are you a doctor?
Yes. Well, not a doctor, but I've been called many things, but most commonly, I guess I am known as a traveling medicine woman.
Keen is gonna like pop open her bag that has 80 million things just shoved into it from the cart.
Those are some lovely spices you've got there, dear. Why are you showing me those?
I'm gonna
because
look at
I'm
the
in
bag.
training. I'm learning how to make medicine, and I'm learning from Aggie here.
I see. So, I'm no expert healer, but cinnamon and cumin and bay leaves and thyme, I mean, those seem like cooking ingredients more than medicinal.
Yes, but sometimes there are many different things that go into cauterizing and healing and bandaging. Lots of different things go into those.
Give me a persuasive roll if you would, Keen.
Thank God I'm good at persuasion. That is all I gotta say. So if I failed this, I deserve it, and I think I failed it. 15 out of 11.
And she just kind of looks at you and just,
I'm changing my d20 now.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't say that I've seen your patients. Now, besides the tea, is there anything else I can get you?
Aggie's just going to shake her head and say, "Oh, goodness." And, well, apparently she is learning medicine, and I am learning how to be a teacher. However, I will say the medicinal properties of cinnamon should not be underestimated. as well as bay leaf. Bay leaf, most of the time it's used for flavoring, but bay leaf as well, it does have a few practical applications. Thyme, same. However, I look at the bag and I'm like, yes, most of the stuff you, I pull out like a vial of like bright red liquid. This is homemade hot sauce. I believe you might have found the pantry instead of the medicine cabinet. But it's okay. You're learning.
Well, you know, though, if maybe somebody had just taken something poisonous, like a poisonous berry or something, giving them a lot of that hot sauce would help them throw up, right?
That is a hypothesis that I have yet to test. But usually I've never needed to because I just have anti-poison.
I see. Yes, I'm still learning, so I need to learn more about the anti-poisons. I'm very new.
We will definitely teach you about anti-poisons. I'm gonna look back at the at Maya, and has her demeanor changed at all, or is she still standing there looking at us like?
Oh, she's looking at you two like you are the weirdest people who have ever walked into this place before.
Great. Fantastic.
And as she's kind of standing there, if you'll excuse me, I've got to check on my other tables. And you see her, she kind of walks around from behind the bar, carrying a tray of what looks to be just some basic breakfast items. And as she's heading over towards one of the tables, you definitely audibly hear her say, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And as you kind of watch and look in her direction, you see the back dining room door area open up. And you see a couple individuals walk through, not dressed in their typical nice, shining, pristine armor. They're dressed a bit more casual, wearing just like some basic, like browns and blue robes. But you see that Henlone and Leohan are walking out from the hallway and are currently crossing the dining room. And as you see them crossing, we're going to go ahead and jump to our break. So thank you all so much for sticking with us so far. We will see you all back here in about 10-15 minutes or so. So stand up, stretch, hydrate, do all that good stuff. And we will see you back here shortly. Stick around. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience and hanging out, everybody. Super, super appreciate you all. So we are back in the Winged Ladle. Keen and Aggie, both of you situated at the bar, as you've just turned, and you now see two of the McKell brothers walking across the dining room. You see Leohan and Henlone, the oldest and the second oldest, currently crossing the dining area. Looks like they're making a beeline for the front door. The actions are yours. What would you like to do?
Aggie is just going to look at Maya the waitress and be like, "Oh, never mind on that tea," and holler out, "Leon, hello, darling."
Leohan definitely kind of just stops and just looks over and just like he stares for a moment and it's taking him a moment to be like, Yes. Oh my goodness. Hello, brother. And you see Henlone is just kind of like glaring in your direction a little bit and almost just like rolls his eyes. And he's just standing there and Leohan just kind of looks at him. Fine, I'll go say hi. You just stay here. And he comes walking over.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll meet him halfway. And I'll just come up with like my arms wide, like I don't know, ready to greet him like a friend. He seems like he's happy to see me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Great. I'll give him like I don't think we're at hug territory yet, but I'll give him a nice little big grandma clasp on the shoulders, little shoulder rub.
And you feel his arm kind of wrap around your back, almost like helps kind of support you a little bit. And it's so good to see you again. I'm glad to see you're doing well.
Yes, you too. The last time we saw you, everything was in a bit of a whoo.
Oh yes. I mean, unfortunately, it seems like that still might be going on, hence why we're still in town, but...
Of course.
How are you? What have you been up to?
Just going around and investigating everything, trying to make sure that everybody's taken care of, the usual. But look, I saw you were on your way. Would you like to walk and talk?
I mean, certainly, if you're not planning on sticking around, we can certainly.
Are you going into town today?
Yes. Oh my goodness. My apologies. I'm so rude. This is my my new apprentice, Pips, with an S.
Hello,
yes.
Pips. Nice to meet you. I am Leohan. He kind of reaches out a hand.
I have heard so much of your daring deeds in battle.
Well, I don't know if they were quite daring deeds. I mean, we're just doing our part to keep the corruption at bay.
But you got injured, right?
Oh, I mean, Miss Aggie, did you have to divulge every detail?
Just so valiant and brave.
I told her the important parts, and well, actually, that does bring up why we're here. The youngest, Venhall. How's he doing?
Oh, he's doing all right. Hanging in there. He's on the road to recovery, though. He's actually still staying with the church right now, even though it's I mean, between you and me, it's a bit of a mess over there. But what do you do?
Of course. Okay, so that he's over there.
Correct. My brother and I are staying here, and we were just on our way to go see him.
Oh, understood. Well, I actually was here to look over. I like to do a little bit of a checkup after I've treated some patients, and before you head out, would you mind if I take a look at you and just make sure that everything is healing properly? There's No infections, nothing extra going on.
Your persuasion roll, if you would, Aggie.
That it teetered, and because of the teeter, instead of a 17, we got a 7 out of 10 or out of 9.
Excellent. That is a success. Okay. And he kind of looks at you and he's not going anywhere. I suppose that would be all right. Brother, you can wait for me outside. This shouldn't take long, right?
No, shouldn't take long at all. However, I would assume you would like some privacy. So, if we can go back to your, if we could go back to where you're staying, just so that way you're not.
Yes, I'm
showing
sure
everybody in the restaurant your scars.
Yeah, I'm sure these lovely diners don't want to see that first thing in the morning as they're eating. Of course not.
Yes.
Brother, I'll be right there. And Henlon just kind of rolls his eyes and just steps outside. And you can see as he's walking out, he's got a pipe. He's packing something into it.
Same, bud.
But Leo Han just says, right this way, please.
Wonderful. And I do want to make sure, is it okay if my assistant Pips comes along?
Well, I mean, everybody's got to start learning somewhere, right? So I suppose it'll be all right.
I appreciate you very much. And yeah, boop, boop, gonna follow.
All right, and he exits out of the dining room into that long hallway where you see 4 doorways, and he takes you into the one marked number 3. He pulls out his key, pops it open. As you step in, there's a long dresser situated immediately to the right with like a little wastebasket next to it. And over to the left-hand side, there are 2 beds that are kind of pushed together with a little nightstand on either side. Aside from that, there's really not much else of note that you're immediately seeing upon entering this room.
Okay. Sorry, can you give me that description one more time, because I am scouring it for clues.
Yeah, no worries. So as you enter in, if you want to give me a vigilance check as well to see if you can see anything beyond the surface level. So yes. Entering in, you've got the long dresser on the right-hand side, and situated over to the left-hand side, there are 2 beds pushed together with a nightstand on either side. Very simplistic.
Also, the vigilance check is a big pile of nope. It's an 18 out of 10.
Okay, no worries. I will say, too, it's very easy to see that these beds are on frames that are lifted above the ground.
I will say, while we're walking in, I've been walking with a bounce in my step this whole time, actually really, excited that I get to see these war heroes. And I'm going to purposefully trip on my cloak and, hit the ground, with a pretty reasonable thunk with my head turned towards the underside of the beds.
Ooh, no!
Okay. You go skipping on through, just bumbling, flipping over your cloak, and Aggie, you definitely just hear that audible thud of Pips hitting the ground. And Pips, as you're kind of looking underneath the bed, give me a vigilant check if you would.
Okay.
I'll give you a -2 to this roll, though, since you're actually on the ground.
That's very, very kind of you, because that will make it a 5 out of 7.
Excellent. Okay. And as you kind of look underneath, pushed all the way up against the back wall towards the headboard on these frames, there appears to be some kind of silhouette of some kind of box just pushed all the way underneath this bed.
Noted.
And Leo Han's just kind of looking at you, Aggie. Is it easier for me to stand, or would you like me to lay down?
Yes, actually, if you could go ahead and lay down on the bed, Yes, I only need to check areas that are scarring or that were affected. So, if I remember correctly, there was something on your torso, a few bits on your torso, arms, and was it right thigh?
You've got quite the memory, Miss Aggie.
Look, there's one thing I try to keep sharp.
And he begins taking off his shirt and his coat and everything.
Stunning.
Give me a cunning check, if you would.
And while she's doing this, just to confirm, is he the only one in the room with us?
Yep. He is the only one. Henlone has walked off.
My rolls all of a sudden have decided to betray me. That's another 18.
Oof,
out of 14. I know that's my highest stat.
Oof, bummer. Looking at his scarring, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do want to say something to Pips while she's on the floor. As he's like getting all of his clothes off and getting ready, I'm gonna turn around to Pips and crouch down to her and just be like, "Oh my goodness, child! See, I appreciate your exuberance, but when we're with patients, this is why we have to keep everything a bit under control." And I'm gonna go ahead and help her up. And like kind of look in her face, like I'm gonna try and have like an eye conversation right now. And just give a nice big smile and say, "Wonderful, wonderful." Now Coral is thinking, how are we gonna fucking do this?
Well, I'm going to say to her, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I might need to go get some extra. Do we have extra bandages, or should I go find some really fast?"
Well, I'm gonna look in the bag, and it seems like remember how you found the pantry instead of the medicine cabinet?
I'm learning though.
I know. I'm just saying that instead of bandages, you seem to have packed my nice napkins. And I would prefer, I would prefer using bandages because I want to keep these nice. So
Very well.
yes, no, you're all in a learning journey. So there is some embroidery on them. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. I am going to go out. Is there like a bathroom nearby that I see?
That you've seen? No.
Any kind of closets, any kind of like secret spaces one can go to?
I mean, in this hallway, you're only seeing the 4 doors that are all marked 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you have the one doorway leading back to the dining room. That is all you currently see in this hallway.
So changing into the other brother would be a bad idea at this time. Nowhere secret and safe to do that. Okay. Okay, then I guess I just have to make a commotion. It's fine.
While you think about what you're doing there, back inside, Leohan at this point has disrobed. You're kind of feeling over his scar and looking at him. A lot of them have begun to heal up very, very nicely, with the exception of the one on his leg, on his thigh. While the scar itself does appear to be closing, you kind of touch it and prod at it a little bit. Very, very hard tissue buried underneath, and you can almost see like a super, super faint trace of what looks to be some kind of black liquid moving along his veins near his leg wound.
I'm gonna prod at it a little bit and just say, let me know if anything hurts, okay? And please let me know. Don't try to, man your way through it. Okay.
Of course.
I appreciate. And yeah, I'm just gonna start gently kind of poking at it, poking at the scarring, and I'm gonna see the black liquid, if the black liquid is moving through his veins, like
from where it's at currently, it almost seems to just be stuck along that scarred tissue.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be traveling in any particular direction, but as you're kind of poking it and prodding it at it, you can see that he definitely winces a couple times, and the more you kind of poke at it, you can see he almost begins to overheat and start to sweat a little bit, which in the time you've been doing this, it's not entirely normal. No matter how many times you're just poking at something for somebody to just immediately start overheating from that little bit.
I'm going to go up and look at him, and reach for his hand, and if he lets me, I'll hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, Leon, I told you to tell me.
I know, but the good news is, from what I can tell, it hasn't spread any farther. And I've already told my brothers that if it does get to that point, to just do what's necessary before I become one of those.
I'm gonna squeeze his hand, and say, what are you doing to suppress it, if anything?
Well, I've been putting a bit of holy water on it, but it doesn't seem to do much. I would like to try to find dusk water if I'm able. I've heard it's significantly more potent and removing, but I've also heard it can also be incredibly dangerous to use. So once my brothers and I finish up our duty here, we plan on making our way back to Indaros, or perhaps even heading towards the Titan Mountains and seeking some of the Twilight Friars who live out there, who may have other ways of alleviating the darkness. But from what I can tell, it hasn't moved. It's just kind of been pooling there.
Well, you've definitely been doing a good job. Does the church know?
Just my brothers.
That's,
and you now.
Of course, that's probably smart.
I will always serve the church and the Lord Prios, but we'll do it our way. I'm sure you've heard of the church's treatment of some of the individuals of Thistlehold. And believe me when I say we're not all that extreme.
Well, I do appreciate that. It does seem that the church has its fair share of people who celebrate it, but for everyone who celebrates it, there's somebody who has at least one negative thing to say, if not more. But I'm gonna try and like sit next to him on the bed and just say, is your younger brother, is he dealing with the same issue? Is it worse?
I don't believe so. From what I've seen, I can't see any signs on him. Well, his wounds were deeper than mine. I don't think the corruptive energy entered into him like it did into me.
That's good to hear. Do you have any idea as to why your body was susceptible to the energy? I look at the leg and say, what did this? Was it a particular creature?
It was not one of the ones that, not one of the many that crawled out, the drones, if you will. This almost a female figure. It looked like she may have had wings of some sort, but her face very animalistic. Large protruding jawbones. I don't know if she was the one controlling them. It was shortly after the sinkhole had opened that I encountered her, and she, well, got a good cut on me. And soon after is when those creatures began pouring out and we kind of got surrounded. I lost sight of her. I don't know if she went down into the sinkhole or if she retreated back to the forests. I don't know. But she seemed to be almost in control of the corruption, at least of her own.
I don't know if this is anything that we discussed or figured out, but I remember Aggie has some corruption from the sinkhole nearby, where we saw a figure who looks suspiciously like the figure he's describing, right? Did we ever decide if that corruption is visible on me in some way, like it is on his thigh?
The amount of corruption that you took while exploring isn't as significant as his, as you kind of picked yours up just from being in the area and kind of just inhaling the corruptive energy, whereas his was his blood made contact.
Use a sending stone.
Yeah, and his was from his blood making contact with whatever this is.
Okay, cool.
So.
Yeah. So then I'm just gonna say, she got me too. Not as bad as you, but it's I feel it every day, and we'll get you through it. But Leon, you have to tell me as much as you know. Like, the sinkhole opened up shortly after you arrived, correct? Do you have any idea why that is? Was this woman targeting you for some reason?
Your persuasion roll, if you would, Aggie.
There's no bonuses I can get to that roll, right? Because it's decently... Ah, shit. That's a 14 out of 10.
Oof, okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, that's vigilant. Persuasive? Oh, that's worse. That's a 14 out of 9.
Oh, even better. Okay, perfect. We'll come back to that here in a moment. Keen, outside in the hallway, what is it that you would like to do?
Okay, so obviously people are cooking. Things are happening, right? Right. So I'm going to bend a will on someone who is going to start a grease fire in the kitchen. And they're going to make a lot of noise about it.
Oh my, wait, hold on. Can we just think about the implications of a grease fire in a tavern that's a treehouse that is above the city? Y'all thought I was bad? Y'all thought I was bad with my little lantern shenanigans? All right. We'll see how this plays out.
But I want to create it in, like, you know, in a contained space. Like, it's going to happen inside of, like, one of the skillets. So it's like, it's enough that they're worried about it and need to put it out, but it's not going to immediately start burning things around it. You know what I mean? When I say, like, grease fire and
right,
skillet?
but all you're doing, though, is you're just telling this guy to start a grease fire. That is what you're doing.
Well, I feel like I'm asking him to elbow something into the pot that's going to start the grease fire.
Okay.
And then just start screaming for help once he notices. And it's going to be inside a contained skillet. But it needs to be put out quickly, of course.
Okay.
There were no places for me to go change into a hen loan.
So,
let the record show.
You walk back over to the bar where there's kind of a large cutout window behind where you can see into the kitchen where they're currently cooking. Give me a resolute check here, if you would.
All right. My resolute's very high. 4 out of 15.
4 out of 15, okay. Is there any visual effect that we see as you're casting this to get this individual to bend to your command?
I feel like I'm just slowly cross-stitching something. No one really notices what I'm cross-stitching, but it's like a little picture, and it's what's about to happen.
Okay.
And then I make a lot of room in my bag and start walking back as if I'm bringing bandages.
Okay. So you sit at the bar and begin cross-stitching this scene. And it's almost like time pauses around you where it is just you sitting at this bar looking through the window. And you see the cook in the back just working away. And it's almost like he snaps up to attention for a moment. And you see him just kind of wipe his forehead, and as his arm comes down, just smacks into the pot that's sitting next to him. And this liquid just falls over igniting the rest of the pans that are currently on this large open flame stove that he's currently working on. And the top of the stove begins to spark and burst into flames. And as time begins to start to come back to life around you, you just see him kind of rub his eyes for a moment, just, oh shit, fire, fire, help, help! And he just starts screaming and just grabbing like rags and stuff from around him. You see Maya just kind of drop a platter of food and grab a couple pitchers of water and go running back in that direction.
Maya, no! Maya!
She's not a firefighter. A lot of the patrons in the restaurant just kind of get up and slowly begin making their way towards the front door. Back in the room, Leohan is just kind of looks towards you, Aggie, and just says, well, I'm sorry. I don't know what the details regarding this situation are with the sinkhole or this woman, but if you'll excuse me. He starts to get dressed. I really should be checking on my brother.
In the hallway, I'm gonna mime the voice of the cook and just start shouting fire, fire. Just trying to get him to run when I notice he's not automatically running.
Leon kind of stops and just opens his door. And at this point, Aggie, you can smell a little bit of smoke wafting through. Not a ton, because it hasn't completely ignited this place. But you definitely get that waft coming through. And Leon's just like, why does this town keep catching on fire? Oh, excuse me.
Because we're here.
He just kind of shoves past you, Pips. And he kind of opens up the dining room door and just, okay, everybody this way, and just kind of starts leading everybody towards the front door.
I'm gonna make sure I get in there and grab that box real fucking quick.
Yep. And Aggie's going to go and the way in my brain I'm seeing it, he's like, he just came out of his room, so he's probably like in the hallway, like ushering people like this way.
He's like ushering you and just saying, let's go, come on.
Back to the door. Yeah. Aggie is 100% going to go and help him, but be on the other side. So she is looking into the room while assisting Leohan,
okay.
So she can keep him distracted and keep an eye on Keen Pips.
So Aggie, give me we'll call this one a cunning check as you're trying to almost manipulate his attention to keep it on you. Pips, I will need a discreet check from you as you're trying to sneak back into the room.
Okay, that is a 6 out of... You said discreet?
Correct.
10.
6 out of 10, excellent, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 6 out of 14.
Excellent. So between the two of you, Aggie, you almost try to pull Leohan closer towards you to give Pips an area to sneak behind him and the wall and into the room. And Leohan's just kind of like just gesturing people. You see a couple of doors open up down the hallways. Individuals come walking out, and he's just helping guide them, not paying attention to anything happening in his room. He thinks the door is shut at this point, but Pips, you are able to quickly sneak in there, and you look under the bed, and you see a small wooden crate.
I will take it.
Towards the back. Okay.
I'm gonna take it, put it in my sack, have all that tucked underneath my cloak, and then I'm gonna leave the room and close the door.
Okay.
Do not break my hot sauce bottle.
You take this small little crate, and it's a bit tight going into your satchel as you've got all these other bottles clanking around in there. But the crate itself is probably only about the size of like regular TTRPG books, essentially. It's not super big. It's enough to hold a tablet. So you're able to shove that down, tuck it underneath your cloak, and you kind of go pushing past Leohan and Aggie with the door shut behind.
So
At
how
this
bad
point,
is the fire?
the smoke's starting to
Is it
build
out?
up, but it doesn't seem to be spreading currently. But you see Leohan as he kind of goes back down the hallway. You see him looking into the rooms, almost like he's checking to make sure there's nobody else. Before he kind of just taps you, Aggie, and just come on.
I want to help. I want to help put it out.
I think they can get it under control, and I think there's an alarm bell outside we can ring to get the town guard here to take care of it if somebody hasn't done that already. But with
Does
this,
it seem still like is it going to be okay? Is it decently controlled or is it spreading?
well, I don't know, but a child like you probably shouldn't find out as we are up in a treehouse currently. So let's keep it going, young Pips. Come on.
This is true, and you know it's going to take me a while to get down the 3 flights of stairs.
I suppose.
All right.
I'm gonna, I am gonna look back though. Aggie didn't see it, but Coral wants to know what the fuck happened with those pitchers of water.
Yeah, so as you're exiting out of the hallway, you hear somebody in the kitchen just shout, "Wait!" before you just hear this loud sizzling noise, and you immediately see almost like a small explosion come from the kitchen. As you see some sparks go flying across the window, and you just hear, Maya, please just get out. You're not helping. I'm sorry. Nope. Just go. And you see him taking like these large blankets and just trying to cover it up. Unfortunately, not making a ton of progress, as at this point, the entirety of the kitchen appears to be engulfed in flames.
Oh no, that was not the plan. I do want to help put out the fire. I do.
So, as
I
this
do
is
want to help put out the
happening,
fire.
the cook back there is kind of shoving Maya towards the front door, and right as he about gets her there, you see it swing open, and you see about 10 city guard come running in carrying these large blankets as they're just running through and just throwing them on top of these flames in the kitchen. A few moments go by, but by the time they get about 6 or so blankets on there, the fire appears to finally be kind of settling down.
For a moment there, I was imagining that GIF from Community from the housewarming party.
Yes. Oh, I freaking love it.
Yep. For that's what it was looking like for a minute.
But more of the Knight's Guard come running in. They've almost got like a chain rolling where they're just passing blankets up to the front and they're just smothering this fire as much as they can.
Yep. I'm getting out of there and out of the way.
All right.
I won't leave until I think they have it under control.
Okay, for sure.
Because otherwise I will intervene.
Aggie, you make your way outside, kind of pushing past some of the guard, and they kind of just usher you around the building towards the stairs. Pips, you wait a few moments as more of these blankets come in. But at this point, it doesn't seem like the fire is going to be expanding past the kitchen. They seem to be have it contained.
Then I will run out squealing, going for Aggie.
All right, Aggie, as you make your way over the stairs, you just hear the sounds of pitter-patter of these little feet just running in your direction and Pips squealing.
Yes. That's why we need to evacuate. What's up with Leohan at this point? Is he just hanging out with us, walking?
No, Leohan, he and Henlone are both in line with the Night's Watch as they're helping pass blankets up currently. The two of them are staying back to try to help put this thing out.
Hot. Love it. just for my purposes, is Leohan still shirtless? And if so, is he hot?
I will say, yeah, Leohan was only able to pull his pants up at this point, but he is completely shirtless. His build, he's not quite Henry Cavill as the Witcher, but just a little bit lighter than he would be. But he's definitely rocking the full 8-pack, the massive packs, a little bit of chest hair poking out, and he's definitely got some very nice scarring all over his torso.
Oh God, I love it.
And especially with the heat, you see some beads of sweat just kind of glistening off of him as you go running by.
Mr. May in the Templar Knights calendar, Great, awesome, perfect, beautiful. So yeah, let's get the fuck out of there.
But yeah, easy enough. You're able to make your way down to the bottom. A couple of the Night's Watch actually offer to help you down, Aggie, help you down the stairs.
Thank God.
But the alarm bells just kind of ringing and echoing from the top of the tree. And you see more of the Night's Watch as they're kind of approaching this area. You see one of them stop at the bottom and kind of take the winged ladle sign and just flip it to closed and just start heading up the stairs.
Okay. On the road home, and don't worry, it was all taken care of.
Okay, wonderful.
It was contained.
Great, wonderful. And yeah, Aggie is just gonna shake her head and just kind of sigh and just say, "We did have a very good talk. However, he's hiding something, and I don't know. I trust eventually he might tell me what it is, but not today. Today was not that day."
I understand. I did have an idea that might have been a little bit easier, but unfortunately, there's no privacy in there.
Yes. Well, can I look at the sun? What time of day is it at this point? Because it feels like we haven't really. It's probably like we started this at early breakfast, and it's probably like feels like lunchtime, because we just got them during breakfast while they were like getting a breakfast to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been super long in the day. I'd say out of your 10 hours, you're probably down to having 8.5 still available. So it's probably mid-morning heading into, you're probably looking at, 10:30, 11 o'clock right now.
Well, hell yeah. Aggie's just gonna be like, well, looks like we can go and meet that, what was his name? I don't remember.
We are going to the saloons of Symbaroum to meet with, I believe it was Decimitos.
Yes,
Decamitos.
Decamitos. My intuition came in very strongly all of a sudden. The name appeared to me. But we need to find a place so I can change. A nice private place.
Well, yes, we can always, where's the hotel? The tavern. We can always
I think we can find some place like off to the side in the wood, maybe. It'll only be a bit.
Wonderful. Whatever you need to do. Would you like me to carry my the bag for a bit?
Are you strong enough to do that? You had a lot of trouble with stairs today. I just want to make sure you're okay.
On second thought, you are correct. Yes. Good idea.
Very well. And I'm just gonna make sure sometime between here and there, I change back.
Okay, easy enough, as you've got quite a bit of a walk since you're kind of in the southeastern part of town, and the saloons of Symbaroum are all the way towards the North Plaza in the Toad Square. I'll say easy enough between there, you can find an alleyway to duck back into. do your quick raven change, and come back out now as Keen once more. Is there anything else the two of you want to do, or are you heading straight for the saloons?
We might as well. We might as well go straight to the saloon. It would make our lives easier to not be carrying anything we don't need.
Mm-hmm. And also, I kind of want to show off and be like, great, 10 hours? How about 2?
Okay.
Well, we don't want to show off so much that we're given impossible tasks later.
No. True. But I do want that letter to be really cool.
Okay.
Be like,
So-
they're awesome.
You make your way back over to the saloons of Symbaroum, entering in through the double swinging door. This place is fairly empty as it's still pretty early on in the day. You see a group of goblins all in their kind of construction gear with their large belts and hard hats, and they're just kind of over in one booth just making a ruckus as they're just kind of drinking and just scarfing down various foods. But you look around, and situated towards the back right-hand corner in kind of just a little isolated booth, you see the familiar form of Decamito as he's just sitting back there with a large mug in front of him.
Great. Come on.
Well met, Decamito.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of looks towards you and just gestures for the two of you to sit.
Have you been enjoying your morning?
Well, I'll be better once I see what you've brought. Two of you worked very, very quickly. I must say, I'm quite impressed.
Well, it's a bit easier when, like I said before, we're already somewhat friends.
So do you have it?
I look at Keen.
We do indeed. And I'll just like gesture into my bag where the crate is, the little box.
We'll give it here.
Very well.
And you slide him over the crate and he kind of takes it and he sets it down on the seat next to him. He's kind of sitting on the outside, so this crate is now between him and the wall. And you see him kind of lift open the lid a little bit. And he shuts it. And he just looks at both of you. Is this some kind of joke?
What? What do you mean? Is this some kind of joke?
Where is it?
What? It's not in. That's exactly what we were told to find. We were told to find the crate in room number 3.
With the tablet in it. Where's the tablet?
So it's not in there, is what you're saying.
And he kind of just takes the crate and just flips it over his head and slams it down on the floor, and it just shatters. And it is completely empty. Do you really wish to make enemies of the Queen? Because you're doing a great job so far.
We were going off of the information that we had. Clearly, it wasn't actually located where we were told it was located.
We'll find it.
Very well.
Aggie's just gonna stare this guy down. And she's just going to say, look, I may be old, frail, and small. But if you think that I will be intimidated by force, then I'm afraid you have a very poor judge of character. I would prefer for this working relationship to remain amicable. I understand we made a mistake. That is our fault. We did not double check before bringing you this tablet. However, if you decide to threaten us, well, there have been a few people in my life who've made that mistake. And I'd just like to let you know that it is not something that I take well, personally. So, please, we've 8 hours more. Enjoy another drink. You obviously need one. And I'm just gonna slowly get up.
And he just takes his mug and just takes a long hit of it.
Good. Drink up, bitch.
And as you get up and walk, he just kind of doesn't even look at you and just says, "Oh, I'll remember your face."
Likewise.
Keen actually gets like kind of a really like wicked looking grin on her face when he says that. Yes, I believe I will remember yours. He does not know that I'm a changeling. That's a big threat, but...
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't know jack shit about y'all.
This guy is about to do all the crimes.
Yeah.
We're getting this tablet. Yes, we are.
Yeah, as soon as we leave, soon as we're out the door, I'm going to turn to Keen and just say, okay, wonderful. Plan B, I don't fucking trust this guy. Even if we were to bring him the tablet, I don't know what he would do with it, and I don't trust what he would do with it. Honestly, after the conversation I had with Leohan, I trust him more than I trust this man and this random woman who says she has information on a key. That's just my 2 cents on the matter.
Very well, very well. So what plan do you propose next? We could still procure the tablet. I think our dear friend Decamito could procure the tablet.
I do think so. I think it's a wise idea for you to remember his face indeed. I am worried at this point. Well, I will say, so there's a lot that happened in the conversation with Leohan. Leohan is suffering from a bit of corruption. He has it all the way in his veins. It's under his skin. Luckily, he has managed to prevent it from spreading. But this is something that the brothers know. However, not the rest of the church. He said specifically that they do not see eye to eye with the church on everything. I wonder if we could make allies of these brothers.
Perhaps, but we still have to be careful about what we do about this other situation, if they truly are connected to the Queen.
Of course. At this point, I would almost say that we've failed. Sorry, we couldn't do it. We failed you. I apologize. Both parties forget the whole thing ever happened.
it is something to consider. And then we won't know what the key necessarily goes to.
Yet.
Can Keen do any type of rites or rituals to try and discern some type of path moving forward?
You can certainly give me a resolute check. What kind of component are you using to try to search for this path?
I'm going to use some of my normal things. I'm going to use some of my rocks. I'm obviously going to use my pendulum. I'm going to use my pendulum above everything I'm creating. I'm going to take some of the rust off of the key. I'm going to take one of the shards of that crate that was on the floor. I'm going to take that as well. I'm basically just going to like put a bunch of things together, use some leftover blood that I have, and even like burn a stitching that I've made to try and get some more information about this while I swing my pendulum above everything.
Okay, I'm assuming you'll be heading back to the Rosen to do this in your own quarters. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Great. I was just about to say, we're not doing this on the side of the street, right?
No worries. So you take all these components, gathering them, burning the stitching, using the blood, drawing symbols, focusing in on the crate, focusing in on the key, thinking about this tablet that contains some sort of prophecy. You take your pendulum, you swing it over. Give me your resolute check if you would.
Okay, that is going to be a 3. You said resolute?
Correct.
Out of 15.
3 out of 15. Excellent. As you hold your pendulum in your hand and it begins swinging around these objects, it's almost as if it begins to circle faster and faster on its own, creating that same colored white energy, almost like it's this beautiful white cyclone of energy before you. And as it circles faster and faster, bits of energy kind of begin to crackle and pop in between, to where it almost looks like a murder of crows just kind of circling within this white energy as well. Your eyes themselves kind of glaze over and they almost kind of roll to the back of your head as you really focus in. You find yourself deep within the Davokar woods at what looks to be this beautiful stone shrine. And as you look at the shrine, it's got a couple stairs heading up to this large landing with 3 different pillars and what appears to be some kind of sacrificial stone bowl in the center of it. Looking at it, you can see that these pillars are carved in a very much elven art style. On each of these pillars depicting what appear to be almost like giant elk, but their face are entirely made of bone, it looks like. So almost like these large elk skulls on their regular fur bodies, with these massive antlers that kind of are broken off and jagged and pointed in all kinds of different directions. And as you look at the antlers, some of the antlers are painted pure white on one side and pure black on the other. And as you kind of walk up to this stone altar, and you see this bowl before you, it's almost like there's this pile of ash within the bowl that slowly begins to spark and ignite. And as it slowly begins to churn and burn, in the smoke, this visage of this elven spirit almost begins to form. And it just kind of looks towards you and says, "Hello, daughter." And that is where we're going to go ahead and call today's session. So thank you all so much for joining us for today's game. Greatly appreciate y'all popping by. Let's go ahead and go back around the table, meet our fantastic players. Go ahead and check yourselves out where people can find you. Let's start off with Kelsey, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey. If you want to find me on social media, you can find me at Tombs and Tomes. If you like books and tabletop role-playing games, so do I. And I'm also currently in the Basin limited run on the Initiative Order.
Excellent. Yes, awesome. First episode was last night. Super cool. So check that out on the YouTubes. Let's throw over to Coral, please.
Hello, my name is Coral Reefer. You can find me on twitch.tv/queerventuretime. I am there on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays in the evening, PST. There is no hard start end time because I need to be flexible. But yeah, we're there and we have fun queer chaos. It's a blast. Also, I'm loud and queer and talk a lot about being loud and queer and politics on my Twitter at QVentureTime.
Awesome. And my name's Nate Ridenauer, your semi-friendly internet DM, GM, AM, FM, whatever you want to call me. You can find me across all the socials at nride93. And you can mainly find me here on the Initiative Order, where I'm obviously the GM for Symbaroum, which runs every other Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am also now running a special mini-series that just started this past week of the Gaia Complex. So it's a cyberpunk meets vampire. Super cool. We had our first session this past Wednesday, and that game will be running every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So plenty of time to catch up on our first video, which is on our YouTube. So please check that out and catch up on all of our other wonderful streams there. Also, if you are interested in streaming with us, playing games, hanging out with some amazing members of the community, please join our Discord. There should be a link going around down in the chat below, where we host free-to-play community games. We host open calls for upcoming streams, not only on our channel, but all kinds of other channels as well. So if you're interested in playing, GMing, or just kind of learning about the streaming space in general, please join us. We would love to meet you. We would love to have you. And before we go, just some quick shout-outs to our wonderful friends and sponsors of the channel, starting off with Session Zero Clothing. Session Zero creates some really cool TTRPG-inspired streetwear. If you use code ORDER at checkout, you get 15% off your purchase through them. Next up, we've got the amazing dice crafters over at Norse Foundry. If you use code TIO15, you get 15% off your purchase through them. And we've got more dice sponsors because you can never have enough dice with TTRPGs. Our friends over at Mithril Armory, if you use code INITIATIVE, you can get 10% off your purchase through them. And last but certainly not least, our very own Valrook Terran, aka Umbral Oculus Dice. If you use code INITIATIVE, you can get 10% off a full dice set through her store. Really cool, one-of-a-kind handmade dice. They're absolutely stunning. Her work is incredible. Check that out. I've got a set that are clear with rose petals in them. Fucking gorgeous. Absolutely one of my favorite sets. So check that out, please. Support a small creator. Aside from that, everybody, we will see you all next time. So thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. We will see you all in our next adventure. See ya.